What's up, fellas, ladies, gentlemen, children of all ages? Wake Up Mintzy's back after a week off due to surviving Barstool. We're excited to be back, brought to you by the fine folks of Dude Wipes. As always, check out their Dumpkin Spice brand. It's fall. Hey, it's the first of the month. There's going to be no wrap, but there are Dude Wipes. Check out the Dumpkin Spice. Cleaning up all messes. Walmart, Amazon, Target, nationwide. Let it rip with Dude Wipes. It's a revolution. They're taking the world over. And I'm going to pound some Stella Blue cold brew. Best way to start your morning. Shout out Barstool Big Cat, Great American. I'm joined as always by Tyler Moody from Louisiana. What's up, Mr. Moody? How are you?
Yo, what's up, man? Good morning. Good morning. How we doing, brother? I know I'm doing a lot better than you are right now. I don't even think I have to ask you. I know I'm doing a lot better than you are. What the? Bro, what'd you just do?
All right, I got you now, Moody. My bad. I didn't hit the 7 button.
You did something way more devastating though. You spun your camera all the way around.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to fix your camera there, big dog.
So, which camera?
Probably the one that was aiming at you that you just hit the cable and
Okay.
spun it 360. I'm at a loss for words right now. Uh, Not really close. I'm good. This is not good. All right, I'll tell you what. Just go sit back down. I'm gonna take your other camera. Just go sit back down. We're gonna take your other camera. Unreal, brother.
Let's try.
Okay. All right. That'll semi work. I'm gonna just take the show away real quick so I can change some camera angles. Okay.
Okay. Well, anyway, so I was just, that was pretty funny. I was going to hit the 7 button and turn Moody up, and I hit the camera. So we're, but as always, we're fired up to be here, kind of. I'll be honest, I had the worst freaking football weekend I've had in 7 years. Literally, I was thinking about this. It started on Saturday with the Ole Miss Kentucky loss, and Brandon Walker's going to join us in a minute, and I've been dreading it literally all night because of how bad the segment's about to be. Basically, I was numb for 90 minutes after Ole Miss lost 2017 to Kentucky because we all know what's at stake this year. It's the biggest Ole Miss season ever, literally, and to lose at home is a 15.5-point underdog. After all this hype, after we sold all these watches to the Grove Collective, after Ole Miss got everybody in the transfer portal, they beat the Sisters of the Poor the first 4 weeks by 1,000,000 points. I mean, look, I'm 41 years old. I try to keep like a positive attitude all the time and not let this stuff affect me. I was literally uncomfortably numb for 90 minutes after that Ole Miss loss against Kentucky. The Kentucky front seven dominated the game. Ole Miss's offensive line played terrible. The defensive backs held a ton, allowed a ton of key first downs. Kentucky converted a 4th and long on a bomb. Even reliving it right now is painful. It wasn't over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor. The season's not over for Ole Miss. They're at South Carolina, at LSU next 2 weeks. But we're going to find out everything about the Rebels on Saturday at South Carolina. Can they bounce back off this Kentucky loss? But just devastating loss. I mean, just the most upset I've been about a sporting event probably since the 2018 NFC Championship game. Well, no, 2020 playoff game when Tom Brady beat Drew Brees, actually. That's the one. But that's how mad and upset I was about the Ole Miss Kentucky game. And when you go through one of those in a weekend, you know it's already bad. Because you're wondering what the hell does life even mean after that. And that was just the start of how big of a disaster this weekend was. I got smoked betting football. And then on Sunday, I could feel like the writing on the wall with it already when the Saints were playing the Falcons on Sunday. And then the Falcons just dagger the Saints, 26-24. Younghoe Koo makes a 58-yard field goal after a 30-yard pass interference. Look, nationally, people don't understand how much hatred and bad blood is in the Saints-Falcons rivalry. It's the Dirty South rivalry. There's nothing more painful as a Saints fan than getting gutted by the Falcons. And so for 90 minutes after the Ole Miss Kentucky game, I was completely gutted. And then literally for 60 minutes on Sunday, I was just walking around talking to myself. And then I put a video out where I didn't speak very loud and, kind of screwed a video up. And I don't know. So it was from all angles. I mean, it was Max Payne, Ole Miss, Max Payne. And, when you look back at where this thing was a couple weeks ago, after the Saints destroyed the Cowboys and the Panthers the first 2 weeks, and Ole Miss was 3-0. I mean, I was thinking this could be the football season of a lifetime. And look, no one's won the Super Bowl in week 2. I know that. And Ole Miss obviously played no one. But the way this damn thing is reversed, now with the Saints at 2-2, so many injuries, especially Ruiz and McCoy up front on defense. It's like a body count for them. And then what the Ole Miss thing is, I'm not giving up on this Ole Miss thing, though. Look, it was a terrible home loss, but Kentucky almost beat Georgia. They have a really good front seven. It's just gut check time, and we'll find out everything you need to know about the Rebels on Saturday at South Carolina. Can they bounce back? Because, there's still a ton to play for. The beauty of the playoff here is you can lose 1 or 2. However, the margins for error are razor thin, and how the hell can you even talk about the playoffs when you lose a 15.5-point home favorite? A lot of other stuff going on in the worlds of football. Last night, Jared Goff, 18 for 18? Holy freaking crap! Perfect game, 292 yards, and he caught a touchdown pass. We were waiting on the Detroit offense to break out the first 3 weeks. They scored 42 points last night. Unbelievable performance by Jared Goff. I did save my gambling weekend, shout out DraftKings, DK partner, by taking Detroit last night by 4, and then I had Baltimore on Sunday night. But amazing effort by Detroit. Last night, the Titans beat the Dolphins in one of the crappiest NFL games we've ever seen. But, hey, a win's a win. The Mason Rudolph versus Tyler Huntley battle, which was like the Steelers-Ravens at the end of last year, ends up being the battle this year. But ugly game. Moody, how about that Detroit performance last night? The Jared Goff thing was unbelievable.
Yeah, great stuff from Jared Goff. I feel like the first couple weeks of the season, he was a little, I don't want to say nervous, but he was missing easy passes that we saw him make last night, right? He was as good as we have seen Jared Goff in the last 2 to 3 seasons. I mean, this was the best I have seen him play, peak Jared Goff. If the Lions get that kind of effort from him week in and week out, it's going to be very good stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and step out real quick while the man of the hour
Brandon,
steps in.
This one, Brandon. No, I got it. All right. I've been dreading this literally all night. But you know what? Part of Barstool Sports, what makes this company what it is you can't run from it. You got to face the
Put the camera on me, TJ. Oh, boy.
Hey, first off,
man,
you should tell Brandon what happened to start the show. Why our
I don't know who that is talking. Tell him to shut up.
That's top. So I ran over there to turn Moody up at the beginning of the show, and I hit the camera. And so I had to readjust the camera right after the show started.
So you broke the cameras.
I didn't break the camera.
Now this is the view that we've got?
Yeah, it was bad. It's been a tough weekend, Brandon. I got to be real honest.
So thank you, Sam. Why don't you go ahead and fix these cameras for us?
Yeah, so I hit that camera. When I was running to turn Moody's mic on, I bumped into that camera at the beginning of the show. A little more. Thank you for that. We need all the help we get. Anyway, I mean, I'm not going to run from it, Brandon. It is what it is.
You can't run from it because your dream season is over. It has collapsed. You guys were exposed as phonies, as frauds, and it was delicious. It was incredible. You were so excited. Oh, all of you were so excited. 4-0. You beat Furman by 76. Oh my God, everything's great. And then you got slapped in the mouth, and y'all just laid down and took it. Just laid down like bitches and took it. Oh, God, it was great. And don't even get me started on the Atlanta Falcons. Because that was just I don't even like the Falcons, but just watching you suffer both on Saturday and Sunday was delicious. Oh, fuck. I need a cigarette. Did you see Jackson Dart? He sucks. He sucks, dude. He sucks. You got one good player on offense, Trey Harris. What happened to Juice Wells? Where'd he go? What about your running back, huh? What about all your transfers? Well, your offensive line couldn't block me.
It wasn't over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor. I could see nothing yet, but we'll find out everything this weekend at South Carolina.
Did you see that last kick? He missed it by 45 yards.
He's a good kicker, too.
No, he's not.
Well, he was.
He's not.
I mean, he was a two-lane.
Sad Lane Kiffin is terrific. Oh, my God. You see how pathetic he was in the post-game press conference? We just couldn't put him away. No shit. You were never better than they were. I ain't going to put him away. Oh, man.
I still think Ole Miss can bounce back.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Of course I do.
I bet you do.
We got a ton of talent on that team, but I will say
Yeah. You got a ton of talent. None of them want to be there. They're all just hired mercenaries that you went out and got. None of them care about Ole Miss.
We're going to bounce back at South Carolina this week.
Are you?
Have to.
What if you don't?
If we don't, things are going to go really bad. I mean, I'm going to be honest, but I still believe, obviously, going back on that game, the offensive line transfers, they took a lot of guys that had a ton of career starts, didn't know if any of them were elite. The front seven, look, I'm going to call it what it is. That wasn't a fluke. Kentucky should have won that football game. They dominated it up front. Ole Miss made a ton of mistakes in the secondary with defensive holdings and PIs. And, I mean, it's an embarrassing home loss.
Can I point something out?
You can point out a lot of things.
Kentucky dominated you guys up front.
Oh, definitely.
South Carolina dominated Kentucky up front.
I'm worried about the front seven.
How does that make you feel?
I'm worried. I'm terrified about the South Carolina front seven matchup, especially with that number 6, the Dylan Sanders. Dylan Stewart.
No, not Stewart. Yeah, Stewart.
Yeah, Stewart. Yeah, but I'm terrified by that. But the one thing on South Carolina, quarterback's banged up. We'll see if he can go. Sellers. They don't have a great passing game, and I think Ole Miss has a pretty good run defense. So I think they match up.
Yeah, you thought a lot of things going in the Kentucky game too, though. So didn't you?
I did.
Didn't you?
And I bet a bunch of money on it.
Yeah. Oh, you added a second unit.
Yeah, I did.
A second unit.
I got
right before the game started. He was so confident. He said, second unit. Second 2 units on Ole Miss.
Well, Kentucky did shut Georgia down. I mean, there's no moral victory there. You lost a 15.5 point. There's no excuse for that loss. Zero.
Zone. Zero and none.
But I still think not over yet. I mean, it was a terrible loss.
It might be over, though.
If they lose at South Carolina, it's over.
Oh, it's super over.
It's super over. And then at LSU, because it's at South Carolina at LSU next, too.
You got a bye week in there?
No. Bye weeks after LSU before Oklahoma at home. So it's at South Carolina at LSU by Oklahoma.
This could be a great fall, man. This could be the fall that we've been waiting on, Mintz. This could be the fall of Ben Mintz.
Dude, I just was saying before I got on here, and I know no one's won the Super Bowl after week 2, but when Ole Miss was 3-0 and the Saints killed the Cowboys week 2, I was
man, everything was going great, wasn't it?
And things have just fallen off a cliff.
Oh, life back then was so magical.
It was, dude. It was magical.
And just imagine if you could just go through life with your football team never playing anybody good, and you could pretend all you want, but that's not how it works, is it?
The Rebs are still going to bounce back.
It's not how it works.
They're going to bounce back. I really believe it.
Not how it works. You don't get to play Furman and Middle Tennessee every single week.
I do think that was a mistake, the non-conference schedule.
Yeah.
Because
no shit.
But like last year, Ole Miss had the Tulane game and Georgia Tech at home, who were both bowl teams, and got challenged into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They weren't in any games where they got in any tight spots, and they got tight.
Well, I can't imagine my team struggling with Kentucky, so it is what it is. All right, thanks for having me.
Of course. Everything else good. Yeah. Oh, hey, what's the new Dozen show? They announced last night. You and Minahan, the geniuses?
I don't know that it's been announced fully. I think he just kind of mentioned it. But yeah, I don't 100% know. I just know it's me and Minahan versus some fans, and Jeff is currently going through exhaustive auditioning to make sure the fans are good and not shitty.
Okay. And then I saw Jeff saying they're scaling the Dozen down. It's going to be 12-team league, 8-team playoffs.
Yeah,
I like the 2 out of 3 adjustment to the first round of the playoffs.
It's going to be more of a sprint too. So, the Dozen is what it is, but apparently because Jeff's waiting, he wants to make me and Kirk work more, so we have to do this new show.
Okay. And any other? It
is my show, so I have to be on it.
Any other quick college football observations other than Ole Miss tanking?
Colorado has a path.
Well, the thing with Colorado, I had them. That was one of my only good ones. I had a money line at Central Florida. The Big 12 is a great fit for them because where they're weak is the line of scrimmage, and none of these Big 12 teams are tough up front, and Colorado has athletes.
Yeah, except the only ones, maybe Utah. I thought Kansas State would be tough up front, but they haven't been. So, yeah, you're right. Utah's probably the only bad matchup for them.
Yeah, and Utah, a horrible loss at home to Arizona. What'd you think of the Georgia-Bama game?
I don't know what to think, Benjamin. I think Georgia and Alabama are probably even talent-wise, but we have enough evidence now that Kirby Smart is just the kind of guy that he's down 14-0 the second he steps foot on the field with Alabama. And there's no explanation for Georgia, a team that talented with that many good players, falling behind 28-0. And people are giving them a lot of credit for the comeback and saying, oh, yeah, yay, they really showed the heart of a champion. Why the fuck were they ever down 28-0? Is somebody going to ask that question? Like, how do you come out in that environment that flat?
Especially off that SEC championship.
Right, especially after they beat you last year. They ended your season, and you just come out and you look like you're not interested, and Alabama just rolls to it. Like, Alabama's probably not better than Georgia at all. They're certainly not a 28-0 run better than Georgia.
No, I thought it was jarring. Great, it was a hell of a comeback, but I mean, that Ron Williams touchdown was one of the most famous instinct plays I've ever seen in college football.
Yeah, I mean, this is when you're Alabama, when you're Georgia, when you're Ohio State, you have access to recruits that can do that.
Last thing, SEC, where on your power rankings, Bama, Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, what's your order?
I go Texas, Tennessee, Bama, Georgia.
Okay, so you think Tennessee, because I know you were big on the Tennessee thing going in, and I am, and then oh, God, man.
Yeah, but Bama and Georgia are close, but I think Texas is probably the best of the whole lot, and then I think Tennessee's probably past Alabama, and Tennessee has to go to Georgia, which they're all four. Like the margin is razor thin.
And do you think Ole Miss? Do you think we lose to South Carolina? Ole Miss loses to South Carolina?
Nah, I couldn't be that lucky. I think y'all bounce back and win. But Missouri's probably 5, LSU 6, Ole Miss 7.
I think LSU and Ole Miss are extremely close right now.
Kentucky 8, but I don't know what to make of Kentucky. So
they got a good that front seven. They got's good.
Front seven's good, but like hard to reconcile a 31-6 loss. Like if you lose 13-6, okay, but 31-6. But I guess,
Vandergrift's looked marginally competent since then, but I don't know. I'm still at a loss because this Ole Miss thing. I think they're going to bounce back at South Carolina, but it's going to be extremely hard to get through the next two.
Yeah.
Like the only path to back is you have to beat South Carolina and LSU. Like before the year, I had them beating Kentucky and South Carolina and losing at LSU. Now they have to win at South Carolina and LSU.
Well, it's just been a magical week, and I love Kentucky. And
don't you have a cousin that plays for them?
Yeah, but I haven't said that out loud.
Okay. But Brandon Walker just taking the victory lap, enjoying it. We're going to be rejoined by Tyler Moody here. I mean, he was actually nicer than I thought. I expected that to be a hell of a lot worse than it was.
Yeah, I thought he was going to roast your ass a little more. I love how you're just dropping all kinds of knowledge that's not known to the rest of the world as well. Also, those cameras that you knocked off, I just realized those are like the special cameras that they never allow us access to. And within 30 seconds of the show, you were able to mess up those cameras, Mintz. So,
it's a gift.
Hell of a job. It's a
gift. It's a gift. Right when I didn't hear Moody, I was sprinting to the 7 button over there because I know that's the mic thing for him, and just hit that camera. But you know what?
Doug texted me, and he was like, bro, I can't believe it. Like, unreal. Only Mintz could do that within 30 seconds of the show.
I mean, I'm glad I work for the right company. I feel like if I worked for any other sports media company, I mean, I wouldn't. That's putting it mildly. And hey, it's the first of the month too, but no rap today. So
that it is.
Wake me up when September ends, and it finally ended. All right, Moody, let's get to it. Bunch of stuff to get to, but you know what? We hadn't even mentioned the Major League Baseball playoffs, and they start today. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, wow. Mets and Braves played that doubleheader. That first game of that doubleheader. One of the most thrilling MLB games. And Braves up 3-0. Mets get 6 in the 8th. Braves get, 4 in the bottom of the 8th, and the Mets get 2 in the 9th to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Francisco Lindor ultimately hitting the go-ahead 2-run home run in the top of the 9th. One of the greatest regular season baseball games that has ever been played. Just the fact that you end up having those games on a Monday after the season has ended with two teams that are rivals with everything on the line, a back-and-forth game that gets capped off with a star player winning it. It was one of the greatest regular season games that has ever been played, especially in recent memory. Well-deserved by the Mets. They're a team that I think is definitely playoff worthy, and good to see them get in. The Braves, what they have battled through this season to still be in the playoffs is very, very impressive as well. Arizona made a valiant effort down the stretch, but in the end, I just don't think they weren't deep enough in their lineup to compete with teams like the Braves and the Mets.
Well, no, honestly, the Braves got to get credit because, I mean, losing Strider and Acuna at the beginning of the year, and then they had a million other injuries. Just getting into the postseason, I think, is a phenomenal accomplishment considering everything that happened to them.
They lost the Cy Young favorite and probably the NL MVP favorite. Obviously, with the Shohei Ohtani moving over, that did change things. But we're talking about 2 of the top 7 best players in the league they lost from their roster. And for them to still be there competing, a lot of credit to Alex Anthopoulos for what he has done with that roster. They have tons of talent from top to bottom. They have a deep farm system. They've been able to go get guys like Schwellenbach, who was absolutely tremendous for them the entire season and down the stretch, especially against the Mets. Tons of credit to the Braves. I think probably no team in baseball outside of the Detroit Tigers and the Kansas City Royals deserves as much credit as the Braves do right now.
All right, well, looking at the playoff bracket, I went through it before this. So you got 4 2 out of 3 wild card series. Detroit at Houston. Scooble going today. The winner of the Tigers and Astros takes on the Guardians, who are the 2 seed. The Astros have made 7 straight ALCSs. I mean, I'm very mad I didn't take them 16-1 when they were struggling earlier in the year because they're 8-1 right now. I'm pissed I don't have that futures bet. Today, the Astros are still minus 155 with Framber Valdez going against Scooble. The only path to the Tigers to winning this is they have to win when Scooble goes game 1. That's literally the only path.
Yeah, Scooble's going to be the American League Cy Young winner, and they have to get a win with him tonight. I'm not saying that they don't have decent pitching behind him, but this is the Cy Young Award winner this season. He has been phenomenal. He is the spark to this team. He has to be great. If Houston wins game 1, I think the Astros go ahead and take one of the next 2, and they win this series. I have the Astros. I gave it out right here on Mintzy, on Wake Up Mintzy before the season started. Astros over the Dodgers in the World Series. I have that ticket in there. I still feel good about it. I think as you look at the American League right now, the Yankees have been good. The Orioles scare me more than the Yankees do, to be quite honest with you. But the Houston Astros should scare everyone. They have been there and done that. They're somewhat healthy. Yordan Alvarez hurt his knee at the end of the season, but I think he's going to be able to play through it. He'll DH for the most part. The Houston Astros should scare the shit out of everyone. They've been there, they've done that, and they have all the talent. They have veteran pitching. They have guys that can go win them a World Series. I would be terrified to play the Houston Astros right now.
So you got the Astros over the Tigers in that series, and then the Astros over the Guardians. I think the Astros, honestly, they have a good path to the NLCS. I know the Guardians overachieved this year, but Tigers and Guardians.
Yeah, no, I think the Astros have the best path to the championship series for sure over in the AL. It would be a phenomenal story if the Tigers win this. I would love to see the Tigers.
They're hot. They're really hot too.
Yes, and what they've done to they deserve a ton of credit, man. This team was not supposed to be a playoff team. They have all this young talent that has finally taken a step forward. I just don't know that they're ready yet. I kind of think they're Baltimore of the last couple seasons, a really good team that was starting to find itself, but not worthy of playing for championships yet. So I think the team that has been there and done that with the veteran presence is going to get it done in this opening series. And I like Houston the most in the American League. I would probably have Baltimore second. I don't know. For some reason, I don't believe in the Yankees, but they'll probably be there when all is said and done. It'll probably be Astros, Yankees.
So the Royals, Orioles, it sounds like you really like Baltimore in that series.
I do. I just think they're way too deep. They have the starting pitching. Outside of Seth Lugo, I'm a little bit worried. By the way, shout out to Seth Lugo, guy from Shreveport, Bossier, Louisiana.
Shreveport, Bossier, 3-1 great. Aren't you friends with him?
Well, I know him a little bit. He was older than me. He married a common girl of ours, like a friend.
Oh, really?
And she's a very good friend, great girl. And
just
so
friends?
we kind of all knew each other. We hung out a lot, and he has turned into a very, very good major league pitcher, and he deserves a ton of credit. Dude is one of the best pitchers in baseball, and I'm very proud of everything we've seen for him doing for Shreveport Bossier. I hope the Royals win the series. I do not think that they will. He will need to be at his best whenever they take on Baltimore.
Okay, and then in the National League, the Braves had to win. So the way it worked was the Mets clinched with Game 1 win, and then if the Braves won Game 2, they were in going to San Diego. If they lost, the Diamondbacks were in. The Braves went 3-0. After playing a doubleheader yesterday, they have to fly cross country last night or this morning, I don't know when, and play San Diego tonight. I looked it up on DraftKings. Michael King starting for the Padres. Braves don't even have an announced starting pitcher This is obviously a very tough situation for them, but you know what? They're in it, and that's what matters.
They want it to be Chris Sale. Chris Sale was going to start game 2 yesterday. Back spasms kept him from starting game 2. Chris Sale is going to be the National League Cy Young Award winner, which, by the way, again, going back to Alex Anthopoulos, incredible job of going and getting Sale before the year. The Red Sox were done with him. He was floundering in Boston. They go get him. He returns to form, becomes the Cy Young Award winner of the National League. Incredible stuff from Chris Sale. If the Braves do not have Chris Sale, suddenly you start worrying about them. They need an ace. They do still have Max Fried out there, but I'm worried about the Braves if they don't have their 2 best left-handed arms after they've already lost their boy Strider for the season. So they need Sale to be good to go in this series.
So do you think he's going to try to go tonight after back spasms yesterday?
I have a feeling we'll see him game 2. That's my guess, is they'll try their best to get him, especially if they lose game 1. We'll see him game 2. If they were to win game 1, then maybe they would run him out there in game 3 in a desperation spot. So they're going to try and protect him the best they can, would be my guess. They need him, though. I mean, it's just, there's no doubt about it. They have to have one of their best arms out there. There's a team that's been through all the injuries this year. They need Chris Sale.
Okay, the winner of that series taking on the Dodgers. So no matter what matchup, if it's Braves, Dodgers, or Padres, Dodgers, it'll be kind of fascinating. Good.
Well, the Dodgers will be the favorite no matter who they're playing, I think. But the Dodgers are not quite the same team we expected to see at the beginning of the year. No Tyler Glass now. No Clayton Kershaw. Like, they're a little bit beat up as far as their pitching is concerned as well. But they have a very deep bullpen. They went and got Jack Flaherty at the trade deadline, and Flaherty has been very, very good this season. By the way, imagine that the Tigers would have kept Jack Flaherty. Like, that would be an extra Cy Young caliber arm for them. So, there's a lot of little cool storylines that are going to get a chance to play out here in the postseason that I'm excited to watch. And I know I haven't been as dialed in on baseball as I was last season, but a lot of the stuff that we talked about at the beginning of the year is still in play. So I'd like to look like a genius here at the end once again.
Mets and Brewers. Brewers easily won the bad NL Central, but they do have a great pitching staff. You know, what a story with the Mets. I mean, they were just horrible in April. Fought all the way back all year, sneaking the postseason. We actually saw Frank the Tank and KFC hug yesterday when they clinched the postseason. I mean, a moment no one in no Stooley ever thought was humanly possible. They go to Milwaukee. What do you think of this 2 out of 3?
I would kind of give the edge to the Mets here, honestly, just because they had to play more meaningful games down the stretch. They're hot. I think the pop that they got from Francisco Lindor's home run is going to carry them into this series. And speaking of Francisco Lindor, you know, he signed that big contract with the Mets, and at first he started off very poorly. Year 1 didn't play near to his level. He was catching all kinds of shit from the Met fans, and he has been their savior this year. Top 10 player as far as fantasy is concerned. He's done a hell of a job kind of being the leader of this team that they needed in a team that's lost pitching. They watched DeGrom leave, Scherzer. They watched all these talented arms leave their organization, Zach Wheeler, and they're finally a playoff team once again. And I think Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso as the veteran leaders on this offense, I think they deserve a ton of credit. And then Mark Vientos, a rookie that has showed up and showed out the entire season, he deserves credit too. I like the Mets in this series. The Brewers will not go quietly, but I think the Mets are the team that are riding the wave right now.
All right. And as far as, did you look at the match? I went through the lines today. Bunch of big favorites. So the Scooble comes back at plus $1.30 today. I thought that was a high line considering how good he is. The other ones were the Orioles were a solid favorite at minus, I think, 155. The Padres are minus 175 with Michael King going against unknown, and then the other game was minus the Brewers, I think, were minus 142.
I mean, I like the Tigers a little bit tonight.
I know, plus 130
is plus money. And it's not a knock on the Astros. This is my full-on belief in Scooble, right? That's all it is. Honestly, if anything, I would take the under here because betting against the Astros in the postseason normally doesn't work out very well for you. But I could absolutely see the under in this game. You have some good left-handed bats for the Tigers that are probably going to struggle against Valdez. Yeah, the same exact thing could be said for the left-handed hitters, you know, Tucker and Alvarez for the Astros against Scooble. I would take the under in this game. I'm going to go ahead and guess it's not more than 7. It's probably 6.5, honestly, with these two guys out there. So that's the direction that I would lean with this game because I'm just not going to be comfortable betting against the Astros. And it's 6, actually. It's 6. Vegas knows it.
6?
I know it. I'm probably still going under 6 in this spot. No bullshit. I just don't see a lot of runs in this game. I know it's a very low number, and it's low because Vegas thinks it's going to be low scoring too. I completely agree.
All right, I'm looking at odds to win the World Series on DraftKings. As always, DK partner. We do all our gambling at Barstool Sports on DraftKings. Check it out and join us. All right, so I'm looking at it right now. Dodgers plus 360, Yankees plus 425, Phillies plus 475, Astros 8-1, Guardians plus 950, Padres 10-1, Orioles 11-1, Brewers 18-1, Braves 19, Mets 20, Royals 25, Tigers 28. You already said Astros over Dodgers. Astros currently 8-1. I'm just so mad I don't have that 16-1. Do you think 8-1 still has value here?
I have them at 12-1 from early in the season. I think 8-1 is the best value of anybody that you just threw out there personally. I know they have to come through the wild card round, and that is a bit of a knock on them having to play an extra series and not having their pitching set up for the next round. But as far as the value is concerned, I do think 8-1 for Houston is the best bet on the board at the moment, Mintzy.
Okay, of the long shots, because last year we
Yes.
saw the teams that came out of that 2 out of 3 wild card had momentum, and the teams that had the buys, the time off affected them. Of the long shots, we've got Brewers 18-1, Braves 19, Mets 20, Royals 25, Tigers 28. If you had to pick a long shot to make a run looking at the bracket, who do you like?
Probably Baltimore at 11-1. I know that's not the super long odds. Milwaukee at 18-1 is kind of crazy as well. I see all these teams getting eliminated. I'll be honest with you. I don't think there's any way that the Kansas City Royals win it at 25-1. I think it's virtually impossible for them to get it done. I hate to say that because they're kind of they got a soft spot in my heart, but I do not think they have a chance. That's the same thing with the Tigers. I don't think their lineup is ready to go win important series against some of the best pitchers in baseball that they're going to face. If they play the Yankees, you got to run into Garrett Cole. They're going to have to go through Framber Valdez and whatnot for the Astros. I don't think the Tigers are ready for that just yet, unless Skubal shows up, dominates, and their pitching staff is just phenomenal, because that has been really what's carried them down the stretch. But I don't see it happening. I think your best long shot odds are the Astros 8-1, the Orioles 11-1. And you could make an argument about the Padres for me, but they need Michael King to be very good. They need Yu Darvish to be very good. And those are guys I don't necessarily trust in a playoff setting just yet.
Okay. Where are you? We hadn't mentioned it. I hadn't heard a word about the Philadelphia Phillies, who are one of the best teams in baseball all year. And we all know about the Red October in that ballpark. What do you think about them coming in?
I think they'll be there in the championship series. I do think that. I think they're a very good team. I think they have everything that is needed to win a World Series, without question. They have all of the pieces. They don't. Can they get it done? We've kind of watched them choke it away the last couple of years. They've had opportunities. This is a team that's going to have to make me believe in them, because we've seen some of their star players not show up in the biggest moments. Now, Kyle Schwarber is somebody I'm not worried about. Kyle Schwarber has been there and done that. Bryce Harper's a gamer as well. I think Trey Turner is an absolute stud. The question is are guys like Alec Boehm, who took a big step forward this year, are they going to show up in the postseason as well? I need to see the collective team effort from Philadelphia before I'm going to buy into them. I think they're going to be in the championship series. I think they will get eliminated in the championship series by the Dodgers, because I think the Dodgers have that veteran presence that knows what it takes to win a championship. Outside of Ohtani, he hasn't done that just yet. But I think in the end, it's going to be the Dodgers over the Phillies in the National League. But the Phillies can easily prove me wrong. They're the one team that is they're probably the most complete team going into these playoffs, because they have 3 really good arms. They have a great deep lineup. Their bullpen is solid enough. I do have some concerns there. But I like the Phillies, man.
All right. Also want to talk some football before we get out of here. This Jaden Daniels thing, because we were on it before the year. He's been better than we even thought, though. I mean, we're talking, like, is he the favorite for, like, the NFL MVP right now? I mean, he was 100-1 last week, and I don't have any of it, and I'm so mad. But, I mean, like, the way he's like playing a different sport out there.
He looks so good. We're not surprised by the way he's running the football, right? We knew that would be the thing. But he's so accurate. He's so comfortable in the pocket when it's not there. When he goes through 2 or 3 progressions, he pulls it down and makes a play with the legs. He's making the right reads whenever he's going through his progressions. He sees the man open, boom, it's out of his hand, on time, accurate. it's so exciting to watch Jaden Daniels play football. I'm not a Washington fan because I grew up a Cowboys fan, but I find myself cheering for Washington right now simply because of Jaden Daniels. I have him on all my fantasy teams, or 3 of my 4 fantasy teams as my quarterback, so maybe that has something to do with it. But it's how fun is he to watch play right now, Vince?
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's crazy. He went from he was 100-1 last week to win the MVP, and now he's 25-1 after Sunday. Can't say I'm shocked by that. We mentioned the golf, perfect game last night. Detroit's offense finally breaking out. I thought the Ravens made a phenomenal statement on Sunday Night Football. I was actually on that one too. I'm not going to really
surprised by that.
I didn't know that they'd win that bad, but I just felt like it was a spot at 1-2 that they had to come out on Sunday Night Football and win, and Buffalo's 3-0. I'm not going to write off the Bills. Biggest story, though, is the Vikings thing. I mean, because I thought that was a spot on Sunday at Green Bay where maybe they'd come back to reality. They're 4-0. No one saw that coming. Nobody. And you got to give their coaching staff credit. Sam Darnold looks great. You know, they got Jordan Addison back with him and Jefferson. Flores calling the defense. I mean, unbelievable story.
Yeah, no, they're the biggest surprise of the NFL season, no doubt about it. You were kind of on this to begin the year. You thought that the right move for the Vikings was Sam Darnold, and you've been correct about that. I mean, he's looked really good. He's finally found a home. It looks like he's the only quarterback in the NFL that's thrown for 10 touchdowns this season. The defense has played incredible. They're getting takeaways like it's the easiest thing in the world for them. Minnesota is definitely the biggest surprise of the season. Will they be there when the playoffs roll around? I don't know. I still feel like there's something fraudulent with them. But right now, they are taking care of business.
I thought that was a super impressive win on the road in Green Bay because I thought a lot of Minnesota's success was that they have a weird home field advantage in that dome. But the fact that they went on the road and took care of it in that Lambeau last week, big stuff. And then you got to give Darnold and Mayfield credit. You know, everybody wrote them off, but the Browns and Jets are just bad quarterback situations is how it kind of looks now.
I'll tell you what, I keep thinking that the Browns are good because their roster has a lot of talent on it from top to bottom, but they freaking suck. Deshaun Watson is ass. I mean, their offensive line play has been atrocious.
Penalties,
Deshaun
turnovers.
Watson has been terrible. It's really been awful to watch. I had the Browns -1.5 this week. It's the second time this year that the Browns have screwed me. I am now done with Cleveland for the season. They're brutal, bro. It sucks to watch because I thought they were going to be good.
Moody, I'm telling you right now, I had over 36.5 in that game. That's the worst beat I've taken in the whole season. It was Cleveland scored to make it 20-16, like early third, and missed the extra point. Okay? Then they threw an 80-yard touchdown to Amari Cooper. They got called back. And then because they missed the extra point, they were down by 4 late and had to try to score a touchdown and not kick a field goal and got stopped. It was the worst. It was unbelievable. I mean, it was unbelievable. But that was the kind of weekend it was. Most painful football weekend I've had since Drew Brees lost his last game of his career to Tom Brady. Literally.
This probably had to be a little bit worse, though, because all of your teams lost. Your bets lost.
Yeah, but that was the end of Brees' career. Oh.
Yeah.
Like, I usually don't take it personally. I'm telling you, for 90 minutes after Ole Miss Saturday and for 60 minutes after Saints-Falcons Sunday, I was just numb. I mean, completely numb. Just absolute max pain. But you know what? It's a new week. And, you know, Saints are at the Chiefs Monday night. That'll be something. And then, you know, we'll find out, like on the college front. I know you're following the Ole Miss season close. At South Carolina, 2:30 on Saturday. I mean, total must win here. Like, not even. Yeah. I mean, like, to the point of, like, it's, like, kind of over if they lose it.
They have to. I mean, they probably have to win out. Maybe they could slip up once to Georgia, maybe.
Yeah, I can't even think about all that. You just got to take it 1 week at a time at this point. You lose at home as a 15.5-point favorite. You can't be talking about the playoffs.
It's unfortunate. Like, we had definitely different weekends. I couldn't miss this weekend. I mean,
how about your touchdown? I saw your
touchdowns.
Moody gave out his touchdown bets on Sunday. You had Taysom Hill to score 2 at like 25-1.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know why y'all would go anywhere else at Barstool for your winners. I fucking do this on the reg. There's a reason Mintz has kept me around for so long.
You tell him.
No, There's so many funny people at Barstool, but so few of those dudes actually win. I do this on the regular with ease. You saw what I did 2 years ago with the home run props. You're seeing what I'm doing right now with the touchdown props. Like, I just win, bro. And I don't normally get on here and say, oh, look at me, I'm so fucking good. I hate to do that shit, but I've learned that that's the Barstool way. You got to get on. You got to beat on your chest. Let everybody know how much better you are than them. I win. I've been doing it consistently. You saw the Sunday that I had.
How many units did you win on the touchdown props?
It was like 15, somewhere right in there. I had the what really hurt me, what sucked, is I had a 318-1 parlay where I needed one more Jalen Hurts touchdown to hit. I didn't quite get that. So that was unfortunate. But, dude, I had a great Sunday. I've been just cooking the entire season. Cooked last year, and I'm in a good spot. We're going to keep doing this. I will get better as the year goes on, too, as I start to, really see who is good and who is not. Because sometimes going into a season, you have your opinions, like the Cleveland Browns being a good team, and you find out new information like, hey, this team's not good, and you have to start adjusting. And so we're going to adjust. We'll get better and better, I think, as the year goes on. This is not just a one Sunday thing. We're going to have some really big Sundays as we move forward.
Well, yeah, I ended up coming back to 3-3 in NFL because I had the Ravens Sunday night and Detroit Monday night. So I kind of salvaged that weekend. College didn't go as great. But you know what? You just got to flush last weekend. It was an awful weekend. Sometimes you got to face the music. I don't know how it could have gone worse with Ole Miss and Saints and losing a little bit in gambling. But it's a new week, and, we're all thankful for that. Also, shout out before we get out of here. Caleb Presley, check out the Mountain Strong shirts we're selling in the Barstool store. Moody, I'll be honest, man. So perspective on Monday, I was upset about football. Did you see how bad that Hurricane Helene damage was in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia?
Yeah, I've been paying. My family's been paying real close attention to it for sure. My mom was sharing some of the extra information with me, and it's devastating. We've kind of gotten used to hurricanes, just being in Louisiana. You hear them come through, you hear they're going to hit, and they obviously have devastation, but not quite like this. This is it's devastating. Over 100 people, I believe, have lost their lives. Like 600 more missing. It's so sad, man. It really is. And the fact that there were teams playing games this weekend while all this is going on, it affected some of them. I know it affected some of their families. So obviously, thoughts and prayers with all of them, because it's sometimes life is bigger than sports.
Yeah, that was kind of the Monday perspective I realized. And my sister and brother-in-law and family are up in the Highlands, North Carolina, and they got their power back Saturday night and internet, but they were affected for sure. That was part of that area in western North Carolina. They got hit. And I know Greenville, South Carolina, where I know some folks got hit really hard too. I bought a Mountain Strong shirt last night to support it. 100% of the proceeds of the Mountain Strong shirts are going to the MANNA, M-A-N-N-A, food bank in Asheville, North Carolina, to feed those in need after the Hurricane Helene destruction. So buy a Mountain Strong shirt, support it. Shout out Caleb Presley, one of our guys. As of late yesterday afternoon, he'd already raised $17,000, and I know my mom bought one too. So just gotta support that. One of the best things about Barstool is when times of need arise, the Stoolies always step up and support it. And that's some things more in sports, and we're just so lucky to have our fans. So Mountain Strong, check out those shirts, and we're about to get out of here. Thanks to Dude Wipes, Stella Blue. Sorry I didn't break it. I'm glad I didn't break a super expensive camera at the start of the show. Survived Brandon Walker's victory lap. On it goes. Let's have a good week, boys, and new day. Let's go. Thanks, Moody. Thanks, and Dude Wipes for, as always, cleaning up all the messes that are caused on this show. Man, I love fall. Leaves are changing, football, and Stella Blue coffee. And this season, maple pumpkin pie. But my morning routine would not be complete without pumpkin spice Dude Wipes.
Oh, Mintzy, let it rip.
Cheers, furry fellas. Coffee that fuels you, wipes that clean you.